Thank you for joining me on another video. Um, yeah, videos have been sporadic and they'll probably continue being sporadic for a while. I got a lot of things going on in the background, and those things kind of take precedence over these videos for the moment. Hopefully, soon things will even out and I'll have a better chance of being a little bit more regular. But today, I want to talk about boundaries. Um, Growing up, I didn't have boundaries. I grew up in an era where if I didn't want to kiss a relative, hello, or give a relative a hug, hello, or goodbye, I didn't have a choice. I had to. And that was how I was raised, especially in my family. And going through trauma most of my life, like I did, um, again, I didn't have boundaries. I didn't know how to set them. So when I became a teenager and going through the early childhood, like I did, where I never felt like I had approval from my father, because no matter, nothing I did was right in his eyes. If it was something that he didn't agree with, then it wasn't right. Um, More often than not, what I wanted to do was right, just because simply it was the opposite of his. But anyway, so I never had a male approval. So I didn't know any male that would pay attention to me when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old was like, oh my goodness, I got to do everything I can to get him to stay liking me. Um, so, I did things I'm not proud of, but the last thing I ever did was set a boundary. Well, through therapy over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, I started learning how to set boundaries. And unfortunately, I had to set one this past Saturday. I had a lady that I've known for about 6 years now, give or take. And we used to work together, and then we just kept in touch after I left the job. And she's always been very possessive, especially in the past, I don't know, year. Well, lately she's been trying to reconnect with me and getting frustrated that she can't or that I don't call back. And I told her from the beginning, I'm terrible at reaching out and I'm terrible about calling back. The best thing you can do is text me and I will text you back. And she told me, oh, I don't text because it aggravates me. I don't know what to tell you because with my life, especially the way it is right now, I'm just terrible. And all of my other friends do understand that, and most of them will just shoot me a text. I answer when I can, and we go from there. Well, this past Saturday, she called me while I was with a client. So I declined the call, texted her, said, look, I can't talk. I got a client right now. And she texts back and says, man, I wish I was one of your clients. Then you'd want to spend time with me. Ew, we're not dating. And I called her on being manipulative. She said she wasn't being manipulative. And I'm like, look, whatever. I get back around 8, 8:30. I'll call you then. Well, the visit ran longer because of a lot of unforeseen circumstances. It was kind of mentally taxing on me. So when I got home about, I don't know, 9:15 roughly, give or take, I was exhausted. So I'm trying to process everything and get my head right and stuff. And 10 o'clock, she texts me, well, you said you would be finished around 8 and you haven't gotten back to me. You must have forgotten again. I'm like, first of all, I had a tough visit, a lot of things happening, and I'm just trying to process it. Well, why are you so involved? It's not like you're the social worker. I'm like, well, I explained my job, how I pick up kids, bring them to the visits with their parents, officiate the visit, bring them back, sometimes bring the parents to their home, you know. I explained to her about what I did, and she's like, so you're just a dot to dot person. I had it. I could not take it anymore. It was like, first of all, you're gonna act like we're some dating thing when no. You act like I answer to you when I don't even answer to my own mother. I love my mother, but I'm 58 years old. I don't answer to her. Why would I answer to someone who is roughly 6, 7 years younger than I am, who's trying to be a mom and saying that this is the wrong job for me because I haven't healed long enough? Um, because I'm helping others, and helping others heal is healing me. But, you know, and so I had to set a boundary. I told her, look, we're done. Can't talk any, do not call me, do not text me. We're done. I blocked her number and I blocked her on my Facebook. And it didn't even get me mad. I mean, no, it didn't hurt me, but it got me mad. Because to put me in a position to where I do that, I've never done that. It infuriated me. And it still gets me kind of angry because it's like, how could you do that? And, but it was a victory because there was a time I would have put up with it, would have just dealt with it, sloughed it off, said, oh, doesn't have any friends, so I'm her only friend, and well, that's not on me. Yeah, I feel bad for her. But I'm not going to be around somebody that's that possessive. Yes, I'm terrible at getting back with you. It happens. But when you don't want to even communicate in the way that I suggest is the best way to communicate with me, that's on you. And it's okay to set boundaries. It's hard. Because in thinking back, I should have probably done this months ago, at least. And I dealt with it longer than I should have. But the fact is, I still did it. And it wasn't easy. Because I don't like doing that. But I'm proud of the fact that I did. It shows growth. And though the hardest thing for you to do may be to put up a boundary, you'll feel so much better when you do. Because you're telling the person no further. You're not allowed to go here. And if they cross that line, then they're out of your life. Is it fun? No. Like I said, I wasn't hurt by having to push that boundary. I mean, not push it, put up that boundary. But it got me angry. And I struggled with it at first. I second guessed myself all night into the next day, into the next night. Until I finally asked God, God, am I doing this right? Is this how I should handle it? Because, of course, everything I did while I was with my ex was wrong. You know, every way I handled things was always wrong. I was never right on anything, so of course I still second guess myself. And then I heard, it was like, I heard the words, would you put up with that with someone you've known for a very long time? And a particular person came to mind, and I'm like, no, of course, no, I wouldn't. And then I thought, okay, there's your answer. Because the person I was thinking of, I've known for 32 years. The person was a mutual friend of me and my ex. Now, this person is just my friend. And this person whom I've known for 33 years, first of all, wouldn't do that. This person, we go months at a time without talking. I'll shoot a text, hey, how you doing? Chick! And we start talking and pick up where we left off. And that's how I am with a couple of my friends. And so if I wouldn't allow that with somebody whom I've known for 30 some years, why would I put up with it from someone I've only known 6? And that's where I had my confirmation that I did right. And then I got peace about it. I mean, I'm still angry, but I at least have peace in the decision. And it felt good. It's very empowering. And that's why I'm talking about it today. Because when you put up that first boundary, especially, this is the first one that I've had to put a hard stop on. When I first left my ex, there were a couple of people that I saw that was my ex's friend on Facebook and mine. I didn't even give them a chance to choose which side. I immediately blocked them. I deleted them and blocked them because I knew that these people were likely to see what I posted on my Facebook and go report it to my ex. And I wasn't going to give them a chance. Maybe they never would, but I sure wasn't going to give them a chance. And so I deleted and blocked them. And I made it known to other mutual friends that I trusted, that I knew wouldn't go report to my ex. I still told those friends, hey, look, I know you're friends with him right now, and that's fine, I don't care. But if it ever gets back to me that you reported to him something I put on my Facebook, you're going to be blocked and deleted as well. And I put up that boundary, and that felt so good. This was about not even a month after I had left my ex. And and then there was a guy that I talked about in one of my earlier videos, how he asked, we knew each other through an organization we both belonged to, and asked if I wanted to go get coffee sometime. Yeah, sure. Well, it turns out he only wanted one thing: deleted and blocked. And I haven't had to do anything since then. This was the first time I had to really truly block a good friend, or someone I thought was a good friend. And it was hard, but I'm glad I did. I'm just still a little angry that she put me in that position to have to do it. But when you put up those boundaries and you put up that wall and you say, okay, here and no further, and then they try to push back and you push back further, it's freeing and it's empowering, it's liberating, because it puts the power back in your court. When for all of those years, however many years you were going through that trauma and abuse, you weren't in charge. You didn't have the power. And now, putting up these boundaries, you do. Yeah, like I said, I second guessed myself because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to not making the right decisions. I even talked to my pastor about that decision, and he agreed with me that that was the best thing I did, was to block and delete the person, because that is toxic. And I dealt with enough toxicity in my life, and so have my kids. We don't need any more toxicity. And that is what I highly suggest. I mean, put up the boundary. Start small. Make one small step towards the boundary. Then when you get that going, you start a bigger boundary. When I put up that boundary with this person and blocked her, that also got me to go through my friends list on my Facebook. And it's like deleting people that I generally don't talk to. And it's like I deleted about, 16 people. Doesn't sound like much, but for me, it was quite a bit. Because it was, look, I don't talk to these people. We don't communicate at all. They just see what I post. I barely see what they post. No. And it's not that I don't like them. It's just that why have them on my list if we don't even converse? And so when you do one thing, when you set up one boundary, it is a domino effect, and it goes to another and to another and to another. And it feels wonderful. So I will go ahead and end this video. Y'all have a wonderful week. Hopefully there'll be another video in a week or so. I'm trying, y'all. But y'all stay strong and just keep the faith and just take one step at a time. Be blessed.